We're back in cahoots. It's my friend Christoph.
Aye.
It's my friend John. That's me.
Hi.
Hi. We're here in the living room talking about topics of the day, including a story out of New York where a group of teachers from an apple growing region took 1,000 apples to the governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo, to protest education funding levels. Now, as it turns out, the governor's office could not accept the apples because of limits on accepting gifts. So they plan to donate all the apples to a homeless shelter, to a food bank. So the only person apparently that noticed all of this happening was the security guard.
This is often the case.
Security guards see everything.
Indeed.
Christoph is a security guard some days.
Mm-hmm.
So before we talk about this story, have you seen strange things as a security guard?
Oh my God. Yes.
Really?
Many, many strange things.
Okay. Anything you can talk about?
Let's see, I would have to really weed it down to the things that are appropriate to be discussed in
Really?
any kind of society.
Oh, that's exciting.
But no, we get all kinds. I'm a security guard at a library, which would seem to be a very low-key kind of thing. Just wander around, make sure no one abuses the books.
Not many tackles that happen?
Not as many as you might think,
Yeah.
although I was beaten with... Do you know what a pimp stick actually is?
No, I didn't know it was a thing.
A lot of people assume that a pimp stick is the cane stereotypically carried by the apparently trapped in the 70s pimp figure. But it is not. What it actually is at least 2 coat hangers twisted up into a long length of wire,
Okay.
with which they use to discipline their, for lack of a better term, stock.
Oh no.
Yes, it's very unpleasant, and I have been hit with one. Because apparently that was the best thing that particular homeless person could come up with as I was showing her the way out.
Oh.
But usually it doesn't get that bad. Most of the time I just have to tell them that they have to go out for the day. Sometimes it's the week, sometimes it's the month, sometimes it's permanently.
Mm-hmm.
But we have some very peculiar behavior patterns. I've learned a lot about just the level of influence that alcohol and drugs have on our community that you don't really think about unless you're dealing with them on a regular basis.
I see.
So what I thought was going to be a relatively cushy job has turned into more of a active and diplomatic and sometimes even mental health related occupation.
So that's the part of being a security guard at the library that I think nobody thinks about, is that you have to deal with people who are in an altered state. Mm-hmm. Who decide to go to the library for whatever reason.
And even the police don't like dealing with them.
Right. So you have to physically remove them, or do you just encourage them verbally?
I'm able to physically remove them, but only if they touch me first.
I see.
And I don't want them to touch me. So usually I can talk them into getting up and pursuing their way. And everyone works differently. Some folks need to be cajoled. Other people can be talked to very civilly, and that's all they really want. They want to be treated with civility, despite the way they've been behaving.
Sure.
And it's all a matter of choosing the correct tactic for the correct person.
Okay.
And sometimes there isn't one, and you call the police, and they take over.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And you said you've had to remove people from the library permanently?
Oh, yes.
You're banned from the library forever?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
And they don't like that, and some of them keep trying to come back, but by that point they're trespassing, so...
Right. I mean, nobody wants to be banned from the library forever.
No, and it's never really permanent. Even if you get a permanent ban at our library, you have to stay away for a year. There's no discussion on that. But after that, you can write in, appeal the decision. The guards get together with administration. We discuss what happened. We bring you in to talk to you about it. See if we can't find a solution. And if we can, we'll let you back in, give you another shot.
That's pretty complicated high stakes for entrance into a library.
And we've done it. So we've got one or two permanent bans I know of that we've overturned.
Wow. Okay. So there is hope if you ever are banned permanently from the library. There's hope. That's good to know. Have you ever had to be present for a protest like this before? People protest at the library often.
I get a lot of what we would call low-key sit-ins, I suppose.
Oh, really?
We get, a lot of our homeless population tends to move in groups,
Uh-huh.
as they traditionally have for centuries. Gypsy camps that we end up with. So I end up with 5 or 6 people that will bring in all their bags, all their worldly possessions, and just settle down at one of the cafe tables or the chairs downstairs or down the tech areas. And they're hard to dislodge because they've got the numbers advantage. They've got, again, a small campsite set up by this point. And they believe they have every right as much as anyone else to be there, which is true except when they're becoming a problem. So, and that's the other thing. I don't want to kick anybody out.
Sure.
I feel it's my responsibility to make sure the common areas stay common.
And that's, I mean, that's one of the functions of a public building like a library is to help have the homeless people have somewhere to be. They just can't live there.
Right.
Yes.
And we do occasionally have folks who try to hide out after hours and sleep there. So
Yes. Huh.
we've caught them every single time, but they
Sure.
keep trying.
You know all the good spots.
I've thought this through. I know how to think like you. I know how to move around here without being spotted by the camera. So.
All right. Very good. So let's say I decide I'm protesting library policy by dropping off 1,000 apples. What's the Kristoff move? What do you do with the 1,000 apples and me?